Good day, everyone. Welcome to this learning session from Training Location. We are an authorized DiSC distributor for Wiley Publishing, as well as a channel partner with the Ken Blanchard Companies. My name is Bill Harshman. I'll be your presenter today for this informative video. In today's lesson, we'll discuss the two determinants of one's DiSC style. They are pace and agreeableness. I've always encouraged learners to maintain a couple important pieces of baseline knowledge. First are the cornerstone principles that we've discussed before. All styles are equally valuable. Everyone is a unique blend of all DiSC styles, and your unique style is also influenced by other factors such as your life experiences, your education, your maturity. Second is the basic DiSC styles model. Now, a person's DiSC style is decided by the intersection of two dimensions of observable behaviors, including body language, tone of voice, expression, word choice. The vertical dimension is known as pace. That's your outward activity level, described as either fast paced and outspoken or cautious and cautious and reflective. The horizontal dimension is known as your agreeableness quotient. Now, this means that those who are less agreeable place a lower priority or concern for cooperation and social harmony, and we refer to them as questioning and skeptical. And that's on the left end of this dimension. Those who are more agreeable place a higher priority on cooperation and social harmony, and we refer to them as accepting and warm. You'll see on the right end of that dimension. This is the key point. It is the interaction between these two continua which forms not only the four quadrants or basic styles of the DiSC model, but it also helps you identify a person's DiSC style. Let's break down this pace and agreeableness interaction, which helps identify the DiSC styles. We'll start with pace. We see that the D and the I share a faster and outspoken pace. We also see that the C and the S share a cautious and reflective pace. I'm intentionally avoiding the agreeableness spectrum right now for the purpose of illustrating styles with similar pace. So if we use the S as the example style here, we see that the S and C share some of the same language by nature of their similar pace. In other words, if they have a similar pace, they're more likely to be able to understand one another sooner and easier than if they have a dissimilar pace. Putting that another way, they each know a little about the language of the other with whom they're interacting. Same would be true between the D and the I above. Now let's look at agreeableness. We see that the D and the C share questioning and skeptical agreeableness. And we also see that the I and the S share accepting and warm agreeableness. In other words, they each know a little bit about the language of the other. You can see how I can make the same inference about language that I made about the PACE grid by looking at similarity in agreeableness. Now, you might wonder, well, what about the other pairings like the D and the S, the diagonal pairings across the grid, or the C and the I? Well, that is a very good question. And this is where we begin to see interaction between dissimilar styles that share neither pace nor agreeableness. In contrast to the above examples, neither style here knows much about the language of the other style. So let's take a look and see how that happens. In the grid shown, you would consider one style or language as you prepare to interact. For example, we know that a D or dominant comes from a faster, more outspoken pace combined with a questioning and skeptical agreeableness. So when the D needs to interact with an S, the first thing the D considers is that the S has a cautious, reflective pace combined with an accepting and warm agreeableness. And this knowledge, just this little bit of this two pieces of data, is all the D needs to encourage successful interaction. Granted, it will take a little more planning and effort entering the conversation with the other's S style in mind. The same relative extra effort is required between the C and the I. They too share neither pace nor agreeableness. So I call this extra effort the stretch. One style may have to stretch or flex a little to speak the language of the other style, always considering the other's needs, preferences, and priorities. I want to use the analogy here of learning a new task at work. At first, it's not easy, might even be uncomfortable. However, over time and practice, coupled with an understanding of what is required to complete the task successfully, you need to stretch less and less to get improved results. Let's now look at some other descriptors to help you more easily and more accurately identify each style. First, we have dominant. Here's our continua of that pace and agreeableness of the D. Their priorities include getting immediate results, taking action, challenging self and others. If they had a motto, it would be do it now. Other descriptors to help you form this model in your head include direct and firm, strong-willed, forceful, results-oriented. If there's limitations, the D can appear to have a lack of concern for others and maybe a little bit of impatience and or insensitivity just in their approach. Next, we have influence, or the I. We see their continua there of pace and agreeableness, certainly different than the D. Their priorities include expressing enthusiasm, taking action, encouraging collaboration. Their motto, let's have fun. Other descriptors to help describe the I or influence style, outgoing, enthusiastic, optimistic, high-spirited, lively. If they have limitations, the I can appear to show impulsiveness. They may show lack of follow-through and or even disorganization. Next is steady. The S are steady. We see a pace of cautious and reflective combined with agreeableness of accepting and warm. Their priorities include giving support, maintaining stability, enjoying collaboration. If they had a motto, it would be let's do it together. Other descriptors of an S, even-tempered, accommodating, patient, humble, tactful. If the S has a limitation, it can be overly accommodating, maybe even have a tendency to avoid change and or even show indecisiveness under stress. And coming around the corner finally is conscientious. We see a pace of cautious, reflective, and agreeableness of questioning and skeptical. Their priorities are about ensuring accuracy, maintaining stability, challenging assumptions. Now, if they had a motto, it would be do it right. Other descriptors, analytical, reserved, precise, private, systematic. Any limitations for the C, they can become or be perceived as overly critical. They may have a tendency to overanalyze and or even isolate themselves. I want you to have fun with the DiSC. It's a simple tool for human interaction. Here's a humorous look at getting on a busy elevator. The D walks swiftly into the elevator with their finger already raised to push the closed door button. The I walks eagerly into the elevator, smiling and making eye contact with everyone, notices someone coming down the hallway and says, "Hey, we'll wait for you," by holding the door open. The S steps aside at the door, allowing others to enter first, and then steps in and goes to the back of the elevator. The C will get on the elevator. If it's crowded, they'll count the number of people, check the placard, and if the number is over the limit posted, they'll exit and take the stairs. I hope this overview has increased your awareness, your knowledge, and familiarity of the DiSC, whether your needs are employee engagement, conflict management, team building, or just simply communication. DiSC is a research-based, proven leading training solution. It's impacted more than 8 million learners, 130,000 organizations, and through 14 languages in over 70 countries. It's simple. DiSC provides a quick, intuitive way to understand yourself and others. This delivers immediate and lasting impact on the performance of people and the culture of organizations. And as always, the key to effectiveness through DiSC is understanding your and other styles, then using that knowledge for improved interactions. Here's our contact info. And before you go, I'd like to extend a resource and a request. I'd be happy to send you a sample PDF of any of the DiSC profiles you see on our website, or if you'd like to discuss a complimentary live webinar introducing DiSC or one of the profiles to your team or organization, use the email shown, info@traininglocation.com. And be sure to check out our blogs on the website. And before you close your screen, we always appreciate your like or share or download. And of course, for continued learning, please subscribe and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any new content. Thanks for joining us and goodbye till next time.